And on this edition of Dolphins Today, we're diving into whose stock is up and whose stock is down following the bye week, because we're at that halfway point in the season. We got the halfway progress report. You know, you go home to your parents and here's what I'm doing well, here's what I'm not doing well. Obviously, you know, the players aren't going home to their parents, but you know what I'm saying. Let's talk a little stock up, stock down for these Miami Dolphins, who are 6-3, first place in the AFC East, entering the bye week. A lot to get to, and I'm a positive guy. You guys know that about me. I'm a positive guy, so let's start with a player whose stock is on the rise, and this might be the most obvious one, given his production early in the season. So we've been talking all week about how excited we are for Jevon Achane to make his return to the lineup. And this, again, the stock up is based on what he's done earlier in the season. But when you think of the Dolphins offense and kind of, they need a boost, they need that spark, Jevon Achane is that guy, and his stock is climbing through the roof. And if you bought stock in Jevon Achane at the beginning of the season, you are a smart person, because he's been one of the best despite being injured in that game against the Giants. Look at the stats there, 460 yards rushing on just 38 carries. If that doesn't, we should put that in flashing lights. 38 carries, 460 yards, 12.1 yards per carry. Incredible. Now, in the last 3 games, the Dolphins offense went from being the best in the National Football League, and they're still in the upper echelon, of course, but the production has not been there. Week 7 against Philadelphia, 45 yards. Week 8 against New England, 78 yards, being held under the century mark in both of those games. Now, they did beat New England, but obviously that's an inferior opponent. Week 7 against the Eagles, we know how that one went. Not great. Philadelphia got the dub. And most recently against Kansas City, technically the Dolphins were the away team, and I know everyone in the comments will yell at me, the game was played in Germany, so that's why we put it on the screen there. 117 yards, but the majority of that came in the third and fourth quarter, so the second half, there was no rushing attack in the first half for the Dolphins. Now, it's a little bit of a different story with Jevon Achane in the lineup, and it's not just one guy. Obviously, the offensive line play has a lot to do with that, the overall play calling as well, the strength of schedule, all that factors into it, but the numbers still jump off the page at you. Week 2 against New England, 145 yards, and Week 3, yes, statistical outlier, 70 points, 10 touchdowns, 350 yards rushing, insane. But against Buffalo, even in a losing effort, the first half, the offense was good, and that had a lot to do with the rushing attack. And then Week 5 against the Giants, Achane busted some long runs in that game as well. 222 yards rushing, really impressive. So let me know in the comments if you're ready for Jevon Achane to come back. Spam those 2 8s. Number 28, the rookie out of Texas A&M, Jevon Achane, making his return. By all indications, again, he hasn't officially been taken off IR, but that is the belief around the Miami Dolphins. And the more likes we get, you know how it works, the more likely he is to play in that game against the Raiders. So I've got Jevon Achane with my stock up. Now, stock down, we're going to flip-flop a little bit here. Eli Apple. And this is nothing personal against Eli Apple, but I think the writing was a little bit on the wall in terms of what his role with this team was going to be. He signed a 1-year deal in the offseason, and that was because Jalen Ramsey got hurt. The Dolphins needed depth at the cornerback position. And I'm not knocking Eli Apple. You know, say what you will about his personality, about his career. And this is a former first-round pick that was very, very highly thought of out of Ohio State. And again, he signed that 1-year deal in the offseason for Miami. And the production is, I wouldn't even say it's limiting, but again, the writing just kind of seems to be on the wall with Eli Apple. He was the only active player in Sunday's game against Kansas City that did not see the field, not once, did not see the field, other than, of course, Mike White, the backup quarterback, but that's obviously there. You guys know ball. Backup quarterback's not going to play. So Eli Apple, I think, the fact that he didn't play at all against Kansas City tells you a lot, especially with Jalen Ramsey back fully healthy, Xavier Howard back fully healthy, and like we said about Kader Kohou earlier, That's a guy who Vic Fangio really likes to utilize in that nickel protection package, in that dime package, and Kader Kohou's kind of stepped in and emerged as that next corner. So, kind of simple here. Let me know what you think. Does Eli Apple play again this season for the Dolphins? Type Y for yes or N for no. Now, another player in the secondary whose stock has really rose, just ask Pro Football Focus, is Jevon Holland. Now, that's a guy that this defense can almost be built around. He has played exceptional all season long, and my opinion is that as he continues to get more and more comfortable in Vic Fangio's system, he's only going to continue to make more and more plays. Now, again, I've said this, I don't necessarily use pro football as my Bible, but when you've got the highest rated player in the National Football League at any position, you got to take note, and that is Jevon Holland. He is the highest graded safety according to Pro Football Focus, and that's the guy that is making plays and has kind of found his role as the leader of the secondary from the safety position. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey, leader of the corners, Xavier Howard, a wealth of experience back there, but Jevon Holland fitting in nicely, has also been really good against the run as well. Want to thank our proud presenting sponsor of today's show, and that's Game Time. So shout out to Game Time. It's the only ticketing app you will need. Great for football games, great for any sport. Hoop season just started, and of course, concerts as well. Any live event, Game Time is the app you need. And like I said the other day, it rewards being a procrastinator, which is great for me because I am a procrastinator. If you wait to the last minute, no problem. You can get the best deals with the lowest price guaranteed, even on the day of the event. Let me say that again, just in case you weren't paying attention. Lowest price, guaranteed, even on the day of the event. The app is super easy to use as well. You get a nice, clear, high-definition picture of where your seat will be at, and it's just a couple clicks of the button, and before you know it, you and your crew are rolling to a game, even if it's last minute. So don't wait. Download the Game Time app today. Take the stress out of buying tickets for live events and use that promo code FINSCHAT, PHINSCHAT, for $20 off. And now terms do apply, but download that Game Time app. Use promo code FINSCHAT, $20 off with your first purchase when you create an account, and use that promo code FINSCHAT. And don't worry, we got your back. We're putting that link in the description as well. So shout out to Game Time, the only app you'll need for any live events, tickets to baseball, football, basketball, soccer, hockey, you name it. Of course, concerts as well. Game Time is the app for you. Now, as we've discussed at length, the running back room has a lot of talented guys. And with the return of Devon Achane, that means some guys might be the odd man out. We've seen Jeff Wilson, and we've seen a little bit of Salvon Ahmed in that third running back role. And I think the tail of the tape is out there and tells you that Salvon Ahmed's stock might be going down a little bit. Now, this is my opinion, but he started the season as RB2, of course, before Devon Achane. Really, I mean, yes, we saw Devon Achane in the preseason, but we didn't know he'd be what he is. And it was a little bit of limited production even when Devon Achane was out of the lineup the last couple of games, really since week 5 against the Giants. We haven't really seen a ton from Salvon Ahmed. He hasn't taken that RB2 role by the horns. And like I mentioned, you can't forget Jeff Wilson and even Chris Brooks, who is on IR right now. That's the tail on Salvon Ahmed. And kind of my hunch is that his stock is down a little bit in a very full running back room. So Mostert's your unquestioned RB1. Just look at the numbers. And when Achane comes back, I mean, it's basically having like having two RB1s. And I do think Jeff Wilson is that more proven, versatile, capable RB3 back, meaning Salvon Ahmed is kind of in the rearview mirror there at RB4. So stock down a little bit on Salvon Ahmed. Now, this one's fun. Fun's a strange word, but bear with me here. Chase Claypool, if you ask Jake Riepma, I might have put the arrow the other way as stock down. But some are saying the stock is up. And so that's why we need to discuss it. If it were just me, I'd say stock down. But this quote from Mike McDaniel, and obviously he's a pretty important person to ask. Am I right? The head coach. Take a look at what he had to say about Chase Claypool. He's really growing immensely. We had a couple of guys battling through stuff during the game, referring to the Kansas City game. It's to his credit how he's really jumped in with this group and gone full tilt to learn as many positions as possible. When he's been up, he's had an important role and done well with that. So the way the head coach is talking about him, and he goes on to say in this past game, he had to kind of expand on that. So it's to his credit. He's been 100% all into this team, and his teammates have embraced him, and he's going to continue to get better and more comfortable. He is. Now, that tells you a lot, does it not? Because again, I probably would have said stock down on Chase Claypool, but when the head coach has glowing remarks about you, and as you get more and more acclimated, more and more comfortable with this offense, the opportunities seem like they're going to be there for Chase Claypool. So I've reversed again, admittedly, this morning I said Chase Claypool stock down. But after reading McDaniel's comments, I've reversed my stance on it. And because of the way this coaching staff feels about Chase Claypool, I'm putting stock up. But let's ask you for a second, what do you say about Chase Claypool? Be honest with me. Is Chase Claypool stock up or down? It's real simple. Let me know in the comments by typing up or down. That's all you got to do. And we'll find out even more where Chase Claypool is at as the Dolphins continue with the upcoming schedule after the bye week. It's tough in some parts. It's definitely tough to close it out. But by all indications, a very winnable game in Week 11 against the Raiders. You got the Jets twice, obviously being a divisional AFC East opponent. Very winnable game in Washington against the Commanders. Week 14, you take on a Titans team that we'll see, but maybe the Will Levis honeymoon will be over by then. And then down the stretch they come. What a tough way to finish. But an opportunity for the Dolphins to prove who they are as a team, taking on the Cowboys, and then in Baltimore, followed by a Week 18 showdown with potential playoff implications on the line against the Buffalo Bills. If you love the Dolphins like I do, you got to subscribe to the channel because we are growing. We are growing fast, and that's a testament to each and every one of you. Shout out to the realest of the real. We reached a new milestone this past Sunday with 50K subscribers. You love to see it. So, 100% free, doesn't cost you anything. You just got to subscribe, and that way you won't miss a moment because we've got daily Dolphins content. We got live watch parties and live shows as well. It's always a good time. Oh, no, I won't sing, but you get the idea. YouTube.com/DolphinsNews. Subscribe today. You'll be glad you did on Dolphins Today.